Alright guys, got another race video for you. This is the 9th race in the Triad Criterium Series. 2 more races to go until the final. I am in the lead by a pretty significant amount. I got my teammates Mark and Shannon. They're in 2nd and 3rd overall, so we're looking really good for the overall podium. We're not super concerned about chasing points or anything in particular for these last couple races, just really getting out here for some good results for the last few races of the season. And this was an absolute sufferfest. Temperature was 102 degrees with humidity. Wasn't supposed to get any lower than 100 degrees for this entire race, and that really dictated my strategy coming in. My goal was just to make this as miserable as possible for everyone involved, myself included. I really just wanted to tear this race apart as soon as possible, and that's what I'm looking to do. You can see the guy in the blue kit there rolling in front of my teammate Mark. He's on the team First Flight. Never raced against anyone from First Flight before. They're from Chapel Hill. I think a mountain bike development squad. So I'm definitely interested to see what this guy's race style is and where his fitness is at. And this is the 2nd lap in the race, and I'm ready to open it up. So I go ahead and put in a big dig, and I'm ready to just give this my best effort and see what kind of damage I can cause. See, I'm trying to carry over 500 watts up that hill and just get as big of a gap as I can to initiate this move. And I know I'm going to get brought back eventually, but like I said, my goal is just to get people chasing and make people as uncomfortable as possible. So I'm out for a couple of laps here, and really trying to average like 350 watts around there, normalized, while I'm out solo, just high enough to really get people chasing in the back of the group, and but also a low enough effort that I can sustain it for a while. And right here the catch is about to happen, so I go ahead and drink some water and try to cool down a little bit. But like I said, there was no recovery today. It was over 100 degrees. Everyone was miserable, scorching hot. Guys had ice vests on before this race. There was just no escaping it. And so like I said, my goal was really just to try to blow this thing up from the beginning. And that first attack really accomplished a lot of that. A couple guys just immediately were out of contention. So when I get pulled back, this guy from First Flight goes on a counter attack, good move. Then you see Daniel chase him down, and this is a perfect situation here. And this is exactly what I was hoping would happen, is that as soon as I get brought back, counter attacks start to fly, and this race really just falls to pieces. And even though I did a hard effort going solo, you can see everyone in here is strung out. They're doing a ton of watts. I'm doing 450 in the draft. I mean, everyone is just on the limit right now, and we're 6 laps into this 30 some odd lap race, so pretty much mission accomplished. And I really don't want the pace to go down or the attacks to stop. I just want to keep hitting and see if we can really blow this race to pieces. So Daniel and the guy from First Flight are still, they've still got a little bit of a gap. It looks like we're going to reel them back in. And I'm already thinking about my next move too. Luckily, a guy from Benissimo jumps on the front and pulls us back and closes this gap. And like I said, everyone's just doing a ton of work. I mean, I'm sitting in his draft doing 400 watts up the hill, so it's not like there's any rest for anybody. And as soon as they get caught, I just hit it again. I don't want anyone to recover from any of the early efforts, all the work that I've done. I know everyone's tired. I'm tired, including, all that work I've done. My heart rate's at 180. I just know that, if I keep pushing it, I feel like people are going to start to really give up. So I just keep trying to drive it. My goal going into this race was to use the heat to my advantage and, like I said, make people as uncomfortable as possible. Right here, this guy from First Flight joins me, so he gets away from the group. We've got a gap here, and I've never raced with this guy. I have no idea how strong he is, how much experience he has crit racing. Go. I'm hoping to take advantage a little bit. I don't know how much experience he has, but I really try to convince him to do a lot of work and keep this move rolling. Go. Now keep going. Tell me, you can hear me tell him to keep going there when he flicks his elbow. And you can see this a lot in crit racing. Some people who are a little bit inexperienced with crit racing, and I have no idea this guy's background. For all I know, he could be a junior national champion, but I don't know that. So I'm just hoping that he can be coerced a little bit into maybe making some efforts that are a little more advantageous for me. The only reason I know that trick is because people did it to me 1,000 times when I first started. When anyone's a little hypoxic, you can kind of convince them to do things if you yell loud enough. But he's rolling. I mean, now I'm starting to realize, like, this guy has what it takes for us to stay away. We've got great pace. I mean, we're really making big progress on the few guys remaining in this race. He's just drilling it here. I mean, we've been out for a while now, and I'm doing 400 watts in his draft going up this hill. Going through these corners with him, though, is interesting. He would get gapped a little bit through the corners, and then I would just drill it coming out of the corner and leave a little bit of a gap for him to close. So that's why you see my power spiking to almost 500 there. It's not my responsibility to make sure he's directly on my wheel. So almost every pull I do, he's a little bit gapped, and he's just got to waste a little bit of energy to close that space. And I just take full advantage of that. And in my head, I'm thinking, I just got to have this guy do a little bit more than me for the rest of this race, really start to slowly wear him down, maybe without him even realizing it. I mean, right here, coming through that last corner, he's gapped, and so I just push it on a little bit harder than maybe I should, and leave a little space for him to close. Right here, you can see the back of the group. He flicks me through for the last pull, and same thing, he's not directly on my wheel, so I just hit it, not an attack, but just raise the pace enough that it takes him a few seconds to even get into my draft. And right here, you can't see a shadow at all. I mean, he's, 2 bike lengths behind me. So basically, we're doing the exact same amount of power, even though I was just sitting in his draft doing 200 watts. We catch the back of the group, and my heart rate's at 184, so it's definitely time to recover. And I fast forward a little bit here. And some of these guys have been lapped, all of them have been lapped once. I mean, we got around one time. Some of these people have been lapped twice at this point, and people are just attacking. He's attacking, but I know that I just need to make sure that he stays in front of me and that I keep an eye on him, and that we go to the last lap together. But everyone's surging. I mean, this was a brutal race. I was completely spent by the end of this. At this point, you can see a couple guys getting away, and that's totally fine. I'm happy to let people go at this point. You know, we've lapped the field, me and this guy from the First Flight team. You know, if guys want to get down the road a little bit, I have no problem with that, as long as I keep my eye on this rider from First Flight. And you can see here he's putting in a dig, and as long as I'm in my wheel, in his wheel, I'm happy with that. Confusion there. So we actually went through with 2 laps to go, and then after we went through the start finish line, the race director rang the bell for someone else coming through. So I had to double check with them to make sure we weren't on the last lap, but here we are. This is actually the last lap. Him and I are going to be sprinting it out for first and second, and you know, it'd be ideal if we came into the last straight with him in front of me, but I saw him do a ton of work in this race, and I was really confident that I could just win this thing in a sprint, even off the front. So I mean, we're rolling here, doing 100 watts, basically ready for a track sprint. And I see it just a tiny gap between us, and I hit it as hard as I can. Right here, I ended up doing 1,000 watts for 13 seconds. I think that was my best power this year. I don't have big max power, so I've got to do these long sprints to win. And I hit that corner, and I've gapped him big time, and I'm thinking this thing is over. I remember thinking going up the hill, just give it one more effort and you got this thing, and bam, he takes me on the line. I've never lost a bike race this close before. He came out of nowhere. And I was totally shocked. I could not believe that I lost this. Here's another angle. This is my buddy Mark, my teammate's footage of the sprint. You can see me to the right, and I've gapped him, and I'm thinking this thing is over. I hit this corner. He makes up a lot of ground through that corner. I've still gapped him though, and I'm so confident that I've got the race won. But he catches me on the line. Great finish by the guy from First Flight. Thanks for watching.